Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video we're going to be working on the sweater here. So this is a very simple crop sweater. You can obviously do this to be of any size as well as the length that you want. It doesn't have to be cropped like I am doing here. So I will talk about how you can make it larger and things like that, which is pretty much just to increase the number of rows that you're doing, to make it longer if you want it to be if you don't want it to be the crop one like I'm doing here. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be working on. We're gonna be using the basket weave stitch. So for those of you who are maybe doing it for the first time, I'm gonna be able to show you how to do this type of pattern here. But yeah, so this is pretty much the project for this video, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so before we get the project started, I'm going to show you the materials that we're using for it. And as you can see here, I have my yarn. So we're going to be using these off-white and this black. So this is from a company called Allison and May. It's 100% acrylic. This skein here is 100 grams or 238 meters. I do call this black, but this company goes by color number. And so the color number is 355534. And recommended hook size is 4 to 5 millimeter crochet hook. And this is a worsted weight yarn, so it's a medium weight number 4. And of course, this is exactly the same yarn, except the color for this one is 356166. Okay, so that is what we're using for this project. I'm gonna be using a 5 millimeter crochet hook, which is H8 US. I have my darning needle for joining our panels. I have a scissors to cut the strands, a tape measure to determine the size, and some stitch markers. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so we're gonna start with using the off-white color to start the project. And with this project, we're gonna be working in multiple panels. So we're gonna have a back panel. We're gonna have 2 front panels, because we're gonna do one for each side of your body. And then we're gonna have the 2 sleeve panels. Okay, so altogether we're gonna have 5 panels that we need to complete. And so with that, we're just gonna be starting with the back panel. Here is the easiest one. It's just a wide that goes from shoulder to shoulder. Okay, so we're gonna start by doing a slip knot to be able to start our foundation chain. So just like that. And then I'm going to do a chain of 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so this is going to be the wideness of the band for the bottom part of the sweater. Okay, and we're going to skip the 11th stitch right here, and in the 10th we're going to go in the back and complete a single crochet. And then in the next stitch we do the same. We grab the back of the chain and complete a single crochet. And then in the next, and as you can see, this is one of my favorite things to start for pants, shorts, sweaters. Pretty much almost everything that I do that needs a band, I do it this way. Okay, so we just do this all the way to the end of the chain. And at the end, you will have 10 stitches. And this is going to be the 10 stitches that you do for this part of the project. Okay, so, and as you can see, I'm just going towards the end here. Voila. Okay, and now that I have done my 10th stitch, I have 10 stitches here, and that's how the first row looks like. And then so this second row is going to be your repeat row. So you do a chain of 1 and turn. And then in the next, so this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And so in the next, sorry, my ring is bothering me here because the rough edges it kind of spins into this area of my hand, and then it kind of bothers me. So I just have to keep turning it because it doesn't stay straight. So the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So in that same stitch here, we're gonna go and grab the back loop and complete a single crochet like that. And then you go into the second and grab the back loop and complete a single crochet. And then in the third, and then you do this all the way down the row here. What I do for the final stitch is I go through both loops. It just creates a more sturdy finishing for the this part of the project. Okay, so just keep in mind you need to make sure you're maintaining your 10 stitches here. Don't lose or add, because it will make your band a little bit different and bumpy. Okay, so I have one stitch here. I'm gonna go through both loops and complete my single crochet. Okay, so I have my 10 stitches. So that's my second row, which is a repeat row, and you will need to repeat this until you have the band. So I'm going to do one more. So chain one, turn, and in that stitch complete a back loop single crochet, and then in the next stitch back loop single crochet, and then you just continue this until you get to the end. For the final stitch, I go through both loops. Okay, so the way you will decide how long you do this, it's pretty much going to be that you measure the circumference of your waist. Okay, so this is gonna be a cropped vesty type of sweater. And it's gonna also be on the small size as opposed to larger. So I often do a small medium, but this is definitely gonna be lower than that. So I think it's gonna be more extra small to small type of size, okay? So the way you will determine how wide or how long you want this to be is you take your tape measure. I use inches, and you just measure the circumference of your waist. So let's say the circumference of your waist is 14 inches. Again, I'm just giving these as an example. I think you would not be human if your circumference of your waist is 14 inches, but I'm giving it as an example because it's easier to show. So let's say it's 14 inches. What you will do is you will take that 14 and divide it by a half, by 2, and it will give you 7 inches. So then what you will do for the back is you will do 7 inches worth of rows, okay? So you will do pretty much from here to here, and this is gonna be what your back panel is gonna be like, okay? So go ahead and continue building your band here. When you have that, the size that you want, then come back to the video and I will show you what to do next. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed the size that I want for my band here. I ended up doing 60 rows, so I have 60 rows all together here. And again, like I said, I'm doing it so that it's more on the extra small because it's a very crop top type of like cardigan, okay? And also it's gonna be more on the tight side, not very loose. But yeah, this is why we're doing something that doesn't seem to be very big, especially for my size, okay? So I'm gonna again show you guys the measurement here. So I'm gonna measure from here to here, and as you can see, it's 15 inches, and this is without me stretching it at all. So if I cut this in half, it means the circumference that I am looking for is 30 inches around, and this is half of my circumference, so it's at 15 inches. And as you guys can see, I'm not stretching it at all because I want there to be a very wiggle room. This obviously stretches, and it would probably stretch to about 20 inches, but I'm not incorporating the stretchiness when I measure. Okay, so now that you would have the size that you want for the back panel, we're gonna go ahead and get started with the next part of the project here, and we're just gonna start working on the back panel. Okay, so let me just set these up and I'll be back. Okay, so I have my yarn set here. So what we will do is we're gonna start working on our next part here. So I will just start by doing a chain of 2, and then this chain of 2 counts as a double crochet. And then what I will do is I will work a double crochet into the next stitch next to it like this, okay, or the next gap. Okay, so again, I'm gonna explain here because we don't have actual stitches that we're working on. We're just working, so each of these bumps here is 2 rows of the single crochet in the back loop. Okay, that's why there's a bump here. So all we're doing is working each stitch on each row of the previous single crochets that we did. So at the end of this, you should have 60 stitches because we had 60 rows. You should have 60 stitches. So I start one with the chain 2 here, which goes with this row, and then as you can see, I have one here that goes with the next side, and then I go ahead and go into this and complete the next, and then on top of the bump here, I'm going to do the next double crochet. And then into the next gap here, I do the next double crochet. and then on top of the bump here I do the next double crochet. Okay, so this is how it should look like, and you're going to do this all the way to the end. And when you get to the end of this first row of this double crochets, you're gonna come back and I will show you what to do for the next row. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my row of double crochets here. So I did come back to show you guys there is a stitch that we have to go into at the end here, as you can see, just so it doesn't hang like this, and it actually ends up making 61 stitches, but it will work out for what we're doing next. Okay, so you will go ahead and just complete your final double crochet at the edge of that row like that. Okay, so now it's pretty much gonna look like this. And then for the next row, you're going to start by doing a chain of 2 and turning. So this chain of 2 does count as a double crochet, but what you're gonna do for the next 5 stitches here, you're going to do front loop double crochet. So you're gonna yarn over. In the next stitch, you're gonna go in the front and complete a double crochet like this. Okay, and then you're gonna yarn over, go around that double crochet from the previous row, complete a double crochet, yarn over, go into the next double crochet, loop around, and then bring it in and do a double crochet, and then yarn over, go into the next stitch and complete a double crochet. So that's 4. Then yarn over, go into the next and complete a double crochet. Actually, for this one we are doing the 4 because this is our 5th here, because we do need to finish at the end like this. Okay, and then you're going to now switch. So you have your 5 first stitches here, so you're going to switch, and then for the next 5 go and do a back loop double crochet, or a back back post, sorry, these are front post and back post. So you're gonna do back post double crochets 5 times, and again you just loop over and grab and do a double crochet. So that's 4 and then 5. Okay, and then for the next 5 you do front post double crochets, and then for the next 5 back post double crochets, and then you just alternate that all the way to the end. So I will have you guys do that. Let me just make sure I have 5. 1 2 3 4 5. So then I switch over and do front post double crochets. Okay, and you're going to do this all the way, alternate the 5 front post and then 5 back post, and then front post 5 of them, and then back post 5 of them, all the way to the end. When you have reached the end, come back to the video and I will show you how to complete the final stitch here, and then we're gonna go ahead and start the next row. Okay, so I'll see you guys when you have reached the end here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my alternation of the front post back post double crochets here, and as you can see, for the final I did 1 2 3 4 5 back post double crochets. And like I said, we have the 61th stitch that we're gonna go into and complete a double crochet on top of it. Okay, because we need to be able to wrap up the end of our stitches like this, just like that. So we do have 6 stitches here, but at the beginning here we have 5 because we started with a chain 2, which counts as a double crochet, and then we had these 4 front post double crochets. Okay, so this is how your first row of the front post back post double crochets look like. Okay, and so we're going to start the next row. So I'm going to show you how to start the next row. So you're going to start again by doing a chain of 2, which counts as a double crochet, and that is obviously going to be corresponding with this double crochet we finished in the final row, in the last row. And then we're going to start by imitating what we have here, which is, this is where it's bumpy or kind of bumping towards you. You're going to do front post double crochets. Okay, so you just go right into the next post and you do your front post double crochet, and then move on to the next one and do a front post double crochet, and in the next, and then in the next one here, and then you're just going to do this for 5 times. Okay, so these are your 5 front post double crochets like this. And then you go right into doing the next 5, which are the back post double crochets, because they're facing, the bumps are facing away from you. So you just kind of follow this pattern where if you have the bumps towards you, you do front post, and if they're bumping away from you, you do back post. And again, this is 5 times here, and then oopsie, being a little clumsy here. And then for the next 5, as you can see, they're facing me, the bumps are towards me. Then I just go and complete 5 front post double crochets in these rows here. Okay, and then in the next I will go ahead and do back post, and then in the next set I do front post, and then I just alternate that until I get to the end. Okay, so as you can see, this is how your second row looks like. So I will repeat this all the way to the end. So for the next set right here, it's back post, and then this set is front post, back post, front post, back post, all the way until the final 4 here will be back post, and then a double crochet will go on top of the chain 2. So that is what I'm gonna show you until, and then I will do this for 5 rows. Okay, so as you can see, this row that we just finished, that we're starting right now, this technically counts as our 3rd row, because the double crochet row that we completed to start the whole this post stitches, that counts as a row that belongs to this set here. Okay, so I am on my 3rd row right now, and then I will do this until I have 5 rows. When I've completed 5 rows of this, I will come back to the video and I will show you guys, because we're gonna need to change the pattern of how we do our posts here. Okay, so again, work this for 5 rows. We're on our 3rd row. For the final one here, you're gonna do 4 back post double crochets, and then do your final double crochet on top of this chain 2. So 1, 2 on top of this chain 2, do a double crochet, and then chain 2, which counts as a double crochet, turn, and then follow the pattern like just we did here, and do this 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you have all 5, come back to the video and I will show you how to do something different for this part of the project. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my first row as rows of the front post, back post double crochets, and as you can see, this is pretty much how it looks like. So what we're gonna do now is reverse this pattern that we did here. So instead of it being repeating the exact same thing, we're gonna do the exact opposite depending on what we're working on. So for this one here, we're gonna want these bumpy sections to be on this side, and for this side here, we want these sides that are denty on this side. Okay, so I'll show you what that means. And this is pretty much how you create the basket weave, because this sweater is going to be made out of this basket weave stitch. Okay, so again, we do our chain 2, which counts as a double crochet, and you flip your work. And now, as you can see, instead of following this pattern where we continue to do the front post here and back post here, we're going to reverse it. So this here is now where we're going to be doing our back post. Okay, so we're just going to grab that, go into the next stitch and complete a back post double crochet, and go into the next stitch, complete a back post double crochet, and into the next stitch, complete a back post double crochet. And then finally in the last one, we do a back post double crochet. Okay, just like that. And then now, instead of doing the back post here, we're going to do front post for the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then for the next set here, we're going to do back post double crochet. So we're just pretty much doing the exact opposite of what we have done for the last 5 rows. Okay, and so you're going to do this all the way to the end of the row, and then when you get to the end, come back to the video and I will show you how to start the next row, and then I will explain pretty much how to alternate that for how many rows, and then when to change the color if you're changing the color at all, because it's up to you if you want to do this project in one solid color, or if you're changing it, if you're doing it in two different colors, or if you're doing it in three different colors. That part is going to be a choice that you will make. But for this project we have two colors, this off-white and the black. So I will come back after we finish this. I will show you how to start that row, and then I will explain how I would like mine to be, and then you can obviously do that how you want it to be in terms of the color change. Okay, so I will see you guys when you get to the end of this row. Okay, my lovelies, so I have reached the end of this row where we're alternating our back post, front post double crochets to create the weave, basket weave pattern. And as you can see, I've just done my 5 front post double crochets here, but we do have that 6th stitch that we have to work into at the end, and we just go ahead and do a double crochet on top of the chain 2, just like we've been doing in the previous rows. Okay, and then to start the next row I will do a chain of 2 and turn, and then now this is where we repeat what we did for this first part here, where we just follow the pattern, and where it protrudes away from you, you do back post back post double crochets, and then when it protrudes towards you, that's when you do your front post double crochets. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just continue to do this like this for 5 rows. So this is our second row of this pattern, being the opposite of what the previous 5 rows were. And then after that we're going to repeat by just reversing again, so going back to the pattern that we did in the first set of the 5 rows, and then that's how we're gonna kind of continue to build the basket weave pattern. Okay, so we're going to do this until you have, so let's say you want the length of your sweater to be because it is a crop top, let's say you want to do it for 10 rows for 10 inches. So if you want to do it for 10 inches, and let's say you want to change the color so that half of it is the black, half of it is white, which is what I'm doing. So what I will do then, I will do the white until I'm up to 5 inches, and then I will change the color, and I will do the next set of rows for the remaining 5 inches. That is if you're doing it like that. Okay, and so what we will do is just continue to do this pattern like this for 5 rows, and then we switch, we repeat what we did in the first set of 5, and then we go to the next and we do what we did in the second. And when we just repeat that, even with the changing of the color, you continue to do it the exact same way, and you're going to do that until you have your length, whatever that is. I'm doing it as a very crop top, so it's going to be about 12 to 15 inches that I'm doing from the base here all the way to the top part. Okay, so I'm gonna work on my panel. When I have the length I want, I will come back and show you guys what that looks like. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the first panel of my sweater, and this is the back panel. And as you can see here, I actually ended up doing just 3 sets in the white here in the basket weave stitch. I did 3 sets, so 5, 5, 5, so 15 rows. And then I changed to the black, and I ended up doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I ended up doing 20 rows in the black, which is 5 sets of the 5 for the basket weave pattern. Okay, so as you can see, this is pretty much how it looks like. I'm just gonna measure really quick to see how many inches I ended up with for it, because I haven't yet, but I think I will have about 15, maybe a little bit less. So let's see. Okay, so I have 14 inches. I don't know if you can see. Maybe I should flip it like this. Yeah. So if you see, I go from 0 to 14. So I have 14 inches for the length of my panel. Okay. So, and of course, you're going to build this to be the length that you want. So if you're making it in the extra small that I'm making it, then this is about the size that you want. If you're making it larger, then you will increase. And also the way that you do the colors here, it's going to be up to you. So the way I decided to do it is because when I fold this in a half, it goes just so that there's an extra row of in the black like this, but it's almost kind of the same amount of size here with this, just because I have the band as well that I incorporate into this, the size of this here. Okay, so this is done. So we're gonna go ahead and put this away, and it's very stretchy. So again, this is why when we were measuring our band here, we didn't stretch it. It's so that even though it's very croppy, it's still you're still gonna be able to put it on and it's gonna fit you correct, okay? So now we have to work on our front panels. And the front panels, I'm not gonna quite tell you exactly how to do it. I'll just show you one that I have completed so you see what we're gonna do, because it's gonna be working pretty much about the same. Okay, so I went ahead and completed one of my front panels here. And I will explain to you how I did that. So I started by doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 24 rows for the band. Remember, we had 60 here. So we have 60 here. If we divide that by 2, I have 30 and 30. But as you can see, I'm not doing a half. I'm doing a little bit less than what a half would be, because we do need to have that gap in the middle here that we're going to be doing a band kind of like similar to this, but in the middle. So we don't want to bring them exactly kind of close to each other like this, because then you don't have that gap to be able to work your edge or your ribbing like this. Okay, so I just ended up doing this amount of rows. So I again repeated exactly the same thing we did. I did 3 rows in this, so 1, 2, 3, just like we did here. And then I did 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to match the top here. Okay, so with doing the 24 rows for the bottom here, it allowed me to do 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here. And that is simply because when I work these the first row of double crochets here, instead of having 24, I ended up having 25, because if you remember with the body, we ended up, instead of 60, we ended up with 61, and that 61 is the one that we end up having 6 in one side and 5 in the other side. Okay, so this is exactly what you will do to just repeat that. So if you're doing if your body panel was larger than what mine is, then you're just going to make sure you leave a couple of rows that is not exactly. So instead of 30, I did 24, which means there's 6 rows that I'm leaving for the middle part. Okay, so you're gonna do the exact same thing there, and then when you have it, it's gonna be able to go in this area like this, and then we're gonna repeat the second. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the second here, and when I finish that, I will come back to show you guys how to start the sleeves. And for the sleeves, to be honest as well, I'm not going to be able to do it on camera with you. We're going to be repeating the exact same thing we did with this to do the sleeve, but I will obviously talk about how many rows I did, how many rows to start the bottom here with. It's because this is a project where you do multiple panels, but you do them exactly the same, with the exception of how many rows you do for the sleeves, how many rows you do the back panel, and how many rows you do for the front panels. Okay, so for now, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my second front here. And then when I actually, you know what I will do, just to make it easy, I will go ahead and do one of the sleeve panels. I'll come back and show you how to do that, how I did that. And then you will go ahead and finish the other side, the second panel, and the second panel for the sleeve. And then that way you have how to do all of it, and then you will come back when you've completed all 5 panels. Okay, I will see you in a bit when I have completed my sleeve panel. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the sleeve panel just like I said. So this is what I have here for the panel. It is obviously the length of what I want, from my wrist all the way to my armpit. Okay, so the way I often measure for my sleeves, depending on how tight, how long or loose it is, I measure it from my wrist here to under my armpit, because that is where it would connect with the body panel. Okay, so I don't measure on top where it goes over my shoulder, because then it becomes too loose for here, unless that is what I'm looking to do, is then I measure from here to the top of my shoulder. But if I'm doing it so that it's the right size and the right fit, or bugginess or looseness here, then I will do it from my wrist here all the way to the bottom of my armpit. Okay, so that is for me what this size here is. So if I measure, I have 18 inches, and I measure all the way to the top to the bottom of where my this is the project started, where the section is. Don't know why I cannot say that right now. Okay, so then to kind of talk to you about what I did here. So all the panels are done exactly the same. So again, like we talked about for the body, the back panel here, we just pretty much, all these single crochet stitches represent what the number of stitches that we do here. The only exception is the sleeve panel. So for the sleeve panel here, we actually do have to increase it so that it is wide enough, because otherwise we would have to make this section a lot wider for it to go around our arm. So as you can see, I wanted this to be able to fit comfortably here, but it would have been a lot too tight up my arm, as obviously our arm gets wider as it goes up. So what I did for this particular panel is, instead of having 2 stitches that go per or each stitch that goes per stitch of the single crochet stitches, I did 3. So I did one at the beginning, which is represented by the chain 2 here. Then I put one in the middle, and then right to the direct left side of that I put one, and then one in the middle again, and then one in the middle here, and immediately to the other side I put one before I put it in the middle. Okay, so in other words, these 2 single crochets here provide me with 3 double crochets, and then these 2 single crochets here provide me with 3 double crochets. So I increase here pretty much by 1 per one of these lines here. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so this is what I have for one of my sleeve panels, and as you can see, it pretty much starts here like this, and then it kind of goes wider because I increased this section here, as opposed to, if you look at this one here, it just goes straight up. Okay, if you can see the difference, it doesn't look like it goes like this. It just goes straight like this, while this started off right here by going up like this. It's because of the increases that I have here. Okay, all right, so go ahead and do all of your panels. So you still have you have your back panel completed. You will do 2 sleeve panels, and then of course you will need to do your 2 front panels, and then you should have all 5 panels completed. When you have done that, come back to the video and I will show you how to join. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed all of my panels here. So as you can see, these are my 2 front panels. Okay, I have my back panel. This is what we did together here, and then I have my 2 sleeve panels here. So these are going to be for my sleeves. Okay, so now that we have all of them completed, we're going to work a little bit I guess in systematic order. So I'm gonna put these 3 on the side, or these 2, the sleeve panels, I'm gonna put them on the side because we don't need to work with them right now. But what we will do is we will place our back panel down just in whatever way you want, it doesn't matter, and then we're going to place our front panels against it. Okay, so you're going to place your front panels against these like this, and what you will do is you will join the top here. Okay, so you're gonna make sure you line it up nice and even, and then you're gonna join the top here, and you're gonna make sure you join it matching exactly the other side. So what I will say to do is, I would say to make sure you you count these boxes here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 on the other side. And I would say line it up to where it fits that 5th, and then put a stitch marker so that you don't go past that area, because what you need to do is just join this section here all the way to the end here. Okay, so if you take your darning needle and darning needle and just start joining it from here with the string that we have left, you're gonna go across all the way to this end here, and then you're gonna do the same with the second piece where you make sure you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then line it up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then line it up like this and do the same with that. Okay, so that is one of the most important part to do first. So I'm gonna go ahead and help you start that, and then we will go ahead and do the rest of it. So let me just put this on the side. So I'm gonna place it down so I can decide what side to join it in. I think I'm gonna flip it like this, and as you can see, I just have this side here with the dented side facing up. And then I'm gonna grab one of the panels and I'm gonna place it against it like this, with this side kind of joining it in like this. Okay, so I'm gonna end up joining it like this. So I'm gonna take my darning needle. Oops. I'm gonna take my darning needle. I'm gonna grab some of the yarn. And I'm gonna help you guys just join a few pieces, and the rest of them I will explain how to do it so you can do it off camera. The joining is part of the easiest part of crochet, but it also takes time to do it on camera and it makes the video extremely long. So if I can just tell you guys how to do it and then you guys can do it off camera, that makes it so that the video is not too long. Okay, so I just line it up nice and even here like this, and then I will start from this end here. So I'll just take my darning needle and just put it in the first stitch here, and then grab the first stitch on this side like this, and then just pull it through, and then I'll just knot this first part here so that it doesn't come off, just like that and like this. Okay, and then I am going to pretty much go from stitch to stitch. So I'm going to grab this stitch here, the stitch on the other side, and I'm going to pull. I just want these two strings to not be pulled up with it. Voila, like that. And then I'm going to go to the next stitch, set of stitch, grab both loops, and then pull. And then go to the next set of stitches. So this one, and pull. And then the next set of stitches. And you just line it up all the way across. Make sure you don't pull it too tight because you don't want it to wrinkle up. But you're gonna do it so that it's steady enough that it's not gonna pull apart either. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this all the way to where this stitch ends. So I should be able to end it. This stitch here should go on top of this stitch here. So I'm gonna be able to end it like this. And then when this is done, I will come back to the video to show you how this looks like. And then I will explain how to do the other side as well. And then I'll come back to explain how to do the sleeves, how to join the sleeves on, okay? So let me finish these two here and then I'll be right back. Okay, my lovelies, so I have joined this front panel here to the back panel. Okay, so as you can see, this is pretty much it. I'm all the way at the end here. And I will just flip it to the other side so you guys can see. So this is how this other side looks, and this is going to be the side that will be the outside of your work. So it's going to look like this. Okay, so nice and neat. Okay, so now that this is done, so I just did one knot here and one here, so I'm going to do one more, loop my yarn around like that. And I do that kind of to stimulate a chain one and pull so that it locks it in like that. And then I'm gonna bring this, cut it somewhere here, and then just leave this here for now, and all of this we will weave them in later. And then I will go ahead and line up my second panel, and I'm gonna do the same on this side like this, and I'm gonna join just like we did this other side. And then when this is done, I will come back to the video so I can talk to you guys about how to join the sleeve panels on it. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have joined my front panel to the two front panels to my back panel. And so this part of it is done. So now we're going to join the sleeves. So right now it just looks like this, these two fluffs like this, join to the back panel pretty much. Okay, so now this is gonna be a little bit of the tricky part that I will show you how to. So it doesn't matter what side you want to start with, but we're gonna flip our work like this. So we lay it down like this. Okay, so as you can see, this is the back panel, the two panels here, and you're just gonna take any of the sides here like this. So we're going to pretty much, so as you can see here, I'm gonna count these black boxes here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 of these here, which is this basket weave type of boxes here. And so what I'm gonna do is I will just bring one of my panels here. This is one of the sleeve panels, and I actually do have 10 here as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But because these are not sideways like these ones are, they're a little bit on the shorter side. So if I place these somewhere here, it only takes about 8 to 8.5 areas of these boxes here. So it will leave one of the boxes on the left here open. It will leave one of the boxes on the right here open, but we can stretch this so that it starts from here. So this is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have it so that it stretches to just 8 of this as opposed to 10, just because we can stretch it like this, but it's gonna be a little bit too much of a stretch for our sleeve panel. So I'm just gonna stretch it to the 2nd on this side and to the 9th on this side, so that I have it on just the 8th in the middle. Okay, so now that I have that, I am going to pretty much flip this like this, and I'm gonna start joining my sleeve all the way from the 2nd area box like this from here, and I'm gonna go all the way to the 2nd last on this side as well. Okay, and then when I finish doing this, I will flip and do the exact same on the other side. And then when both sides are completed, then it's pretty much now a matter of joining from here down to the 2. So we're gonna fold our work back, and then we'll be able to join the other 2 sides. So but for now, just join your work from this area here, and you just have to play with it. This basket weave stitch doesn't make it a little bit easy to do, but you're just gonna join it very nice and easy across like this all the way here, and then you will flip and do the exact same on the other side, and then come back to the video when that is done. Okay, see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have joined all the 5 panels here. So again, the table is a little bit too small, but I'm gonna flip it like this. So this is how the sweater will pretty much be. So this is the front here, as you can see, and the sleeves are on like this. Okay, so if you flip the sleeves, then this is how they would go. We will obviously join all the way here, all the way to here, and we will do the same on the other side. So this side we will join from the bottom here all the way, and the same thing here, we will join from the armpit area all the way to the bottom part of it here. So all of these will be joined to here. Okay, so I'm gonna just explain that. I'm not gonna do that on camera with you guys. So like I said again, our sleeves are on. This is the front here, and we're gonna work the part of the middle here separately, but we need to join everything first before we do that. So all right, so if we just flip your work on one side like this, what I will do is I will get the white yarn, and I will join with the white yarn all the way to here. Then I will change the yarn and get a black yarn, and I will join with the black yarn all the way to here, and then all the way to where the other side ends here. And then I will change again and complete the rest of it with the white, and then I'll repeat the exact same thing on the other side. When that's done, I will have my sleeves completed, the sides completed, and the only thing we will come back to do is to get started on doing the middle part here. Okay, so go ahead and do that. When you have completed that, come back to the video, and I will show you guys how to do the ribbing for the middle part here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the joining of the 5 panels. So everything is done. So this sweater is pretty much kind of like done in the sense that everything is joined, but of course we're not done because we're gonna do a border in the middle here. So all I have to do is just decide between these 2 colors, because we're going to do the border here with just one of the colors, and I'm going to do it with the white, not the black, just to brighten up this section here of the sweater vest a little bit. So I'm going to be using this to do the border of it here. So I'm going to put this away. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pivot the work a little bit like this, and you can start on any side. You can either start on this side or this side. There's not much of a difference there, but all we're gonna do is we're gonna join our yarn here, and we're gonna do the first row we're gonna do is of single crochet, just to kind of create some stitches that we will be able to work into. So I'm gonna start by doing a slip knot just like this. Okay, and then when I'm done my slip knot, actually I'm gonna start on this side just because it will be easier for me to work going around like this. So on this side here, I've done my slip knot here, and then I'm just gonna put my crochet hook right at the very first stitch on this side. I'm gonna bring that loop in like this. I'm gonna do a chain one, and then when I have my chain one, I will just weave these guys in as I go. In the next stitch right here, I'm gonna go in and do a single crochet just like this, and then I'm gonna go into the next stitch and do a single crochet, and into the next stitch, and I'm just gonna do single crochets all around. But as you can see, I do have stitches to work into here because it's these areas, these stitches that I can actually work into. But as you will notice, as we go into the basket weave stitches, we don't have actual stitches that we work into. We have to kind of find our way around and just do stitches based on like the spacing, gaps and spacing. Okay, so I'll show you what that means when we get to that area. But as you can see, I just do my single crochets like this, so it's easy here because of the stitches. And then as you can see from here, I have these gaps here, so I will go into this big gap here and do a single crochet, and I will do another one into the same gap just like this, and then I'll just hop right into this gap here, do a single crochet twice, and then into this gap here do 2 single crochets, and then into this gap. And as you can see, I'm just going to do this all around like this, and it's the only way that I can work into I can do single crochets into these gaps here. So this is what I'm going to do all around. I'm going to go pretty much across. So I'm going to go all around here. I'm going to go around the top here and then flip it to the other side and work my way all the way back to this section here. And when you get to here, come back to the video and I will show you how to start the next part of the project. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my single crochet stitches around here. So we started here and I just went all around like this, and this is where I ended up here. So far this is just the first row of this project, of this part of the project, and then we're gonna need to do a bordering here that is pretty much the same pattern as this. Okay, so as you can see, you could probably finish this here. I don't think you should because it doesn't look very nice and neat. But if you wanted to leave your vest like this could be where you stop here because it's pretty much done from here. But we're gonna do the bordering of it here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my yarn prepped here, and then I'm gonna pretty much go and show you guys a few rows here of what we're doing next, and then we're gonna go ahead and continue that all the way until we go to the other side. So as you can see, this is why I stopped here. So with this, I did 11 chains to begin our work for the body panels here. And so this is 10 stitches because we lose one when we begin our row. But I'm going to do less because I don't need this to be this wide. I need it to be a lot lesser than that. So what I often do here is I start with a chain of, let's say, between 8 and 9. So let's do 8, maybe even 7. So let's do 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is gonna be the width of the this area here. Now that I have 7, what I will do here, because I start on this side, is I will remove my hook, I will pivot my work like this, and I will pivot my the chain like these two so I can actually work on it the right side. So now that it's like this, I am going to skip this stitch here, and in the next stitch I'm going to go in the back loop and do a single crochet, and then in the next go in the back loop and do a single crochet, and in the back loop do a single crochet, and we should have 6 stitches that we're working in the back loop to do the single crochets here. Okay, so I have 4, 5, and the 6th one is this one here, which I just go through often like this. Instead of going through the both loops, the back loop, I just grab the 2 first loops and then I complete my single crochet, and this just helps the work bend that way. And then I will slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. So in this stitch I will slip stitch, and then I'll slip stitch in the next one here like that. Then I'll chain 1 and I will turn my work, and then in the next stitch, so we need to have 6 stitches here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is actually the first stitch that I'm going into to do my back loop single crochet, because this is where we first slip stitched in, so we don't work into that. So single crochet in that stitch, and we go in the back loop because we want to create this pattern here. So back loop single crochet, back loop single crochet, and we do this all the way to the top. So as you can see, this is my 5th, but for my 6th here I will go through both loops and complete a single crochet like this, and then chain 1 and turn. And there's gonna be a lot of turning in this because now you have a big project that you have to flip every time you're starting a new, you're going into the next row. So the chain 1 here doesn't count as a stitch, so you go into that very next stitch and go in the back and grab a back loop single crochet. In the next stitch, do a back loop single crochet. In the next stitch, do a back loop single crochet, and then in the next stitch. And again, keep in mind you have 6 stitches, so make sure you're always counting because you don't want to add or lose stitches. Okay, so that should be my 6th one here, so I'm going to count really quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's correct. So and then so this is where we slip stitch earlier, so we go directly into this stitch here and slip stitch, and then into the next stitch we slip stitch, and then chain 1 and turn. Okay, and then flipping and turning and flipping, and then we go into, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is my stitch here to go into it to do a back loop single crochet, back loop single crochet in the next stitch, and in the next stitch, and in the next, in this next one, and then both loops in my case, then chain 1 and turn. Okay, so as you can see, this is pretty much what you're going to continue to do all throughout this part of the project. If I just remove my hook here so you guys can see. So this is pretty much what we're creating here. So for our border here, this is pretty much what we're doing here. I am creating this pattern here that's going to go all around, and it's going to come all the way to this area here. So I would like you guys to continue doing this until you get back to this section here. When you get to here, come back to the video and we will see how it looks like. I have already weaved in all of my ends from the actual project, so I will weave in my ends when we finish this part here, and then our project will pretty much be done. Okay, but let's come back when you finish this so we can see how our work looks like. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the border in the front of the sweater here. So as you can see, we started right here and I just kind of went around all the way around the neckline and I came all the way down, and this is where I just finished it off here. So I just pretty much did my final one going down like this, and then I just slip stitch to the end of the stitch here. That way it kind of wraps it up straight. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and take a scissors and end my project here. So I'm gonna cut this somewhere here, and then of course I'm gonna do a slip stitch and pull to lock that in. And then I'm going to weave these in here. But yeah, that's pretty much it here. So we pretty much just did the border that matches the calves here for the sweater. Okay, and it also matches the bottom part that we started the back of the project with, okay, or the back panel of the project with. Yeah, so that's pretty much it here. I hope you guys enjoyed doing this one with me. It's a very, very heavy and thick sweater because of the stitch that we're using. But for the winter, it's gonna be perfect. You wear something inside of this, you throw this on top, and it looks nice and elegant, and it's not just like a bulky sweater that you're putting on, okay? All right, well, thank you so much for watching the video to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed so much as I did doing this video. I would like you guys to please support by subscribing, commenting, liking, and also sharing the video with your loved ones and friends. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.